The very first thing we do when we are born is breathe. Thusly, the very first sense we implement into our lives is our sense of smell. But not only is our sense of smell is the first sense that we use, it is also the strongest. Welcome to Smell, the year 2001. Meet Joe. Who is Joe, you might ask? This is Joe. He is now breathing and smelling things before he even realizes it. This is because it is one of the first senses we evolved, and also, unlike all other senses, the first to go through a relay center, the thalamus, before going to different parts of the brain. As Joe gets older, he will continue to develop new and distinguish between new smells. All scents can be categorized by 10 basic smells, including woody, fragrant, floral, chemical, minty, sweet, popcorn, lemon, pungent, and decay. The olfactory system allows the signal that we get from smelling to go directly to these different parts. So what is the olfactory system and how does it function? Well, it starts at the very back of the nose, where millions of olfactory receptor cells remain. The dendrites of these cells extend through the epithelium, and at the ends of the dendrites are these tiny hair-like receptors which are covered in mucus called olfactory cilia. These olfactory cilia will bind to odor molecules, which are minuscule chemicals that have been emitted by some substance or object, and then it will send a signal up to the receptor cell to the neuron, where the neuron will interpret the smell and then sends a signal to the olfactory bulb. What happens then is not entirely known, but the best guess is that the signal will go to the piriform cortex to be interpreted by the brain. Something else that makes the receptor cells for smell different than all our other senses is that the fact that they are being replaced constantly. Also, there are said to be over 1,000 different types of receptors, and this, in addition to the fact that each cilia can differ between multiple different smells, has led scientists to believe that we can differentiate between 1 trillion different odors. Of these, the 10 basic smells. This leads next to the limbic system, which the olfactory bulb is a part of. The limbic system is a part of the brain involved in our behavioral and emotional responses, especially when it comes to behaviors needed for survival, such as feeding, smelling, reproduction, caring for young, and fight or flight response. The olfactory bulb processes the info from the receptors and associates it to a scent. You can find the structures of the limbic system buried deep within the brain, underneath the cerebral cortex and above the brainstem. The thalamus, hypothalamus, and the basal ganglia are also involved in the actions of the limbic system. But the two of the major structures are the hippocampus and the amygdala. This explains why when faced with a certain smell that is similar to the odor we smell during a dangerous or life-threatening moment in our life, our fight or flight response is initiated even if we are not in danger. So which region of the brain is associated with smelling? That would be the temporal lobe, which lie under your temples. The temporal lobes are mostly involved with hearing things, but they are also involved with smell. The temporal lobes are also believed to play an important role in processing affect, emotions, language, and certain aspects of visual perception. The dominant temporal lobe, which is in the left side of most people, is involved in understanding language and learning and remembering verbal information. Another interesting effect our sense of smell has on us are pheromones, which are chemicals capable of acting like hormones outside the body of the secreting individual to impact behavior of the receiving individual. There are alarm pheromones, food trail pheromones, sex pheromones, and many others that affect behavior or psychology. This explains why we're attracted to people who smell good to us. Thank you for listening to Smell and meeting Joe.